All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the River Channel broadcast of Hudson Girls Soccer. We have a regional semifinal matchup today between the visiting Wausau West Warriors from Wausau West High School in white, playing from left to right on your screen, and the hometown Raiders in blue, playing from right to left on your screen today. So a fun matchup. These teams played to a tie earlier this season, and it'll be fun to see where they are now. That's Ramthan heading down the sideline. Sends a nice ball across. Unfortunately, she had too much of a lead on everybody, and was a little hard for the trailers to catch up to that ball. So nice play, though. Good move down the line. Good choice by Ramthan. Sent a nice cross across. That's a good initial sign for the Raiders. Wausau West, for those of you that don't know, is Wausau is a kind of central part of the state of Wisconsin, a little bit north. Beautiful country and area up there to visit. I spent many weekends as a soccer coach in Wausau for tournaments and great things. We used to head there for the great tournaments and for the great water park, but I believe that water park is closed now, so that draw is no longer there for people. But both these teams really pushing to obviously win, because we're at the time of the season where a loss means your season is over. So means a lot to these girls on both sides. They both had great seasons. I see Wausau West, at least conference-wise, had a record of 7-1-1 this year in the conference, which is just fantastic. Winning their conference, and the Raiders overall were 12-5-2. And in conference play, they did very well as well. So two good teams here. This should be a great matchup. Wausau West defeated Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln by a score of 1-0 to earn their spot in this regional semifinal. And the Raiders last Tuesday defeated Chippewa Falls by a score of 4-0 to gain a spot in this regional semifinal as well. So the winner of this game, regardless, will play the winner of tonight's game that has Eau Claire Memorial hosting DC Everest. So Wausau West probably knows DC Everest fairly well. They're in the same area, maybe even the same conference. Raiders again penetrating here, getting some good opportunities right off the bat. No real shots on goal yet, though, but the Raiders making good offensive pushes here in the early stages. Nevaeh Tillman with a great takeaway. Gets over to Raina Fort. Nice ball into Ransonici, who ball just kind of gets away from her there. But again, good all-around play here by the Raiders for starting out. I'd like to thank everyone, of course, for tuning in. Looks like we're pushing close to 50 viewers already, which is fantastic. And we are glad to have each and every one of you. This very well might be the final matchup that will be broadcast by River Channel. The rest of the games for the Raiders will likely be on the road. That could change at any given moment based on what happens in other games. But we most likely will not be traveling to broadcast any of those games. So it's been a wonderful season. And we certainly appreciate all of you that have tuned in regularly or just here and there. And we certainly welcome our Wausau West friends to the broadcast as well. And it can be a long trip on a Saturday. Families are busy in lots of ways. So I'm glad we can broadcast this game and so that everybody can enjoy a good soccer match today. It's a warm early afternoon here in Hudson, Wisconsin. We're right on the border with Minnesota, if you're not familiar. And it's about, I don't know, what is the temperature? You can see the girls are kind of rolled up their sleeves and they're gearing up for a hot, long game here. There is a bit of a breeze. Nice ball in there. Ava Brown with a nice little left-footed cross in. Nobody there. Raiders will start to kind of figure out what's working and hopefully turn some of these opportunities into shots on goal and potentially goals. So far, it's been all Raiders in the first 5.5 minutes here of this match. Ferrara took one to the face there, and we're going to pause this game. That's a tough ball, an inadvertent ball to the face, and that is that can be tough on a kid. So Ferrara's tough, but you got to be really careful of that. So I know the training staff is out. Lindsay's up. You can see she already has one injury on her hand or wrist. She wanted to stay in, but the protocol is that you take a shot like that, you're coming off for some concussion testing. Great show of sportsmanship there by Wausau West, giving Lindsay a little pat on the back. And into the game for the Raiders will be Ella Bast. Ella's a freshman, but she's just come on strong this year. She's got a long career ahead of her here for the Raiders as a freshman, and we'll see what she can do to push the scoring here for the Raiders ahead. We'll hope for the best for Lindsay. We have a great training staff from Twin Cities Orthopedics, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but they know what they're doing. They take care of the kids on both sides, and they'll do what's best with Lindsay. But here we are, Wausau West finally with the ball down in Raiders territory. Send a little cross. It's a nice ball. Kendhammer gets stretched for it, though. Another little chip across. Raiders are on it, having trouble getting a good clear. Little collision, and again, Wausau sends a big ball across, and that's going to end up being a Raiders goal kick. So, good spurt of offense there from Wausau West. Both teams really kind of getting the ball where they want it to score, but just not able to get that timing down. And sometimes it's easy to think it should be easier than it looks on TV, but I can tell you I played soccer for many years and coached it for even longer, and it's not as easy as we think it is. So it's all about timing. It's all about predicting to some degree where that ball is going to go. It's watching the other team and kind of going where they aren't as well, and then seeing what happens when that ball is kicked. So anyway, here we go. Raiders now back down on the attack. Again, this is setting up to be a fun match. We're seeing good things from both teams. Here's another big cross for the Raiders. Kind of a little further out than the Raiders maybe were expecting, so they were there, but this time you could see the ball just, it's all sort of random at times. And there's a big stretch out, but the Warriors able to pick it up. And a good takeaway by Nevaeh Tillman of the Raiders. That was Mercy Kelly with the run down the sidelines for Wausau. Ball comes out to Kendhammer, who settles it and kicks it. Bast gets it out to Salama. Sends a long ball up, trying to hit Ramthen, who's got some speed and skill for the Raiders. We've got, I'm going to check the temperature here. It's about 73 degrees, but it's a warm 73 degrees, if that makes sense. A little humidity in the air. Ramthen sends one in, keeping the goalkeeper honest, but nicely played by, I believe that's Grace Calillo of Wausau West, junior goalkeeper. So that's always exciting when your starting goalkeeper is a junior, because you're going to have him for a couple of years. A little extra push there by Lily Rouleau, and Raiders get the foul called, and it'll be a free kick for Wausau West. Maggie McConnell on it. Ball up to Ramthen, who's in the middle, kind of on her own though. She's got to pause a little bit till her team. Nice little ball movement by the Raiders there. Rancinici trying to send a little through ball through, but nobody home for that pass, unfortunately. Got storms apparently coming through the area. We see clouds all around us. I think we heard a little bit of thunder during the announcements, but nothing near us. And biggest thing we'll hope for is no lightning, because all that does is cause delays in the game. And I'm sure Wausau West wants to get this game over with one way or another and get home for the rest of the weekend. But we'll see what happens here. I think the real weather is supposed to hold off till this game's over, but you never know here in Wisconsin, right? Up here in the Midwest, you never know what the weather's going to do. Raiders get it down again. They're still controlling. They are moving the ball around. Salama in the corner. Going to try to use some speed to get around the corner. Sends one across. Raiders are there. Oh, Ramthan with a shot from about 12 yards. That's the sweet spot. That ball came right where you want it. However, it's always a matter of inches as to being able to really strike that ball well. And Ramthan got a good shot off, but it just kind of spun off her foot. So the ball might have been spinning, jumping a little bit. But a good play by Ramthan. Raiders are getting closer. Ramthan sets it up. It's Rancinici with a quick turn. Oh, just too much defense for Rancinici there. And a good poke by the Raiders in there. And Raiders starting to show a little more life with the attack. Looks like Lindsay Farrar is cleared to come back in, so that's good to see. And also looks like Matea Langenall coming in for the Raiders. So with the warmth and the humidity, I think we'll see some pretty regular subbing, probably from both teams. I'm willing to guess both teams are now done with school. If Raiders finished on Tuesday, not sure when Wausau West did, but now these girls are in kind of summer mode of sleep and rest and things like that. So that can always play a little bit into the mind games. Bast is on it. Good work by Ella Bass there in the center of the field playing defense to keep that ball out of the offensive end. Wausau seems to be on a push right now. Good ball movement by them. Big through ball through, but that's just too far. It's really kind of tough to put good touch on those low through balls on these turf fields because the ball just flies on the turf, and a little different than if you're playing on grass. Kendhammer with the punt. There's a crowd around the ball's landing area there, but the Raiders end up with possession. Gets back to Holter. He's going to send it long across to Bast. Kind of a bouncer. A little tricky to play, but she's going to play it back to Tillman. Gets a nice ball through. Ramthan's going to get to that. Who's with her? Raiders got to be pushing hard. Good defense by the Warriors. Over to Raina Fort in the center. Who's going to play it backwards. Nice little turn there. Gets it back to Bast, who sends a cross into the middle. Good header there by Lily Rouleau. Langenall's on it. She actually got held there. Oh, ball sneaking through. All right, that's going to be a corner kick for the Raiders. Deadly, good attempt there for the Raiders on the corner kick. They are quite powerful with that, and we'll see what they're able to do. Maggie McConnell, the corner kick specialist for the Raiders, coming in. She delivers a nice, consistent ball. It'll probably be somewhere in the D of the Hudson in the end zone there, right in front of the goal. Well, a little low. Came off a little low. Set up, though. Raiders with a shot. It's Ramthan. Fort on it. Using her body well. Protecting. Brings it back to Tillman. I like it. It's going to spread the defense a little bit when you do that. Some people always wonder, why do they bring the ball back? But it's because it spreads the defense out when you do that. If you'd seen at the beginning of that play, all the Wausau West defense players were back on defense. So, you're not going to do a lot of ball movement that way. But as soon as you bring that ball back to Tillman, it opens everything up. All right, Wausau West back on the attack. Holter on it. Good pressure. Wausau plays it back as well, trying to spread the field and open up some space. Tillman with a great, nice takeaway there. Good power move, but Tillman able to get on it. Skims off Ramthen. She's going to get to this too. Try to play it off. Not sure what the ref saw. They saw the corner kick, so Ramthen, sometimes people don't. They always think they should be doing something else with that ball, but when you can set up a corner kick opportunity, then you have a lot of great opportunities here. So some subs in for the Raiders. Looks like Haley Huntley maybe coming in here. She's going to jump right into the game and take the corner kick. Haley has been taking some of those duties, which is nice to see. And that's a nice ball there. That's right. A little bit tight, but not a bad corner kick. Wausau West with the clear, and the Raiders will have a throw in. So Haley Huntley, who took that corner kick, is a sophomore for the Raiders. So that's also, we love to see the young players. The Raiders have 11 seniors on the varsity roster, which is a lot of seniors, and they play a lot. And so it's good to see some of these underclassmen getting some experience and contributing. So that's the beautiful part is, it really doesn't matter who the Raiders are putting in here. They're all contributing when they're in. All right. Goal kick here for the Warriors. Trying to get it out of their territory. Raiders keep pressuring. There's a lot of defense back again, though. I'd like to see, with that much defense back, I'd like to see the Raiders get that ball outside and cross it in. But they'll figure out what works and what doesn't work. It's awfully hard to push that ball up the middle with so much defense sitting there. It turns into a pinball machine, which sometimes can be great because you get a lot of errant spins and ball moves. And there's a little through ball, but Tillman's going to be on it. She got some pressure, though. Warriors got some speed. Good ball by Bast. Gets it up to Ramthen. Takes a kind of a hard bounce off Ramthen's foot. Trying to spread out wide. That's going to get out to Langenau. Puts a kind of a long through ball through, and that's going to get picked up by the defense. Raiders attack, though. They stay on it. I like that. Again, that's Ella Bast over there. Gets it into Huntley. He's going to send a little chip to the corner. That's a nice little chip. It's just that's what I mean about when you put those low through balls with some firmness on the ball, it just flies on the ground. When you get a little air under it and angle it out towards the corner, the goalkeeper can't come out for it, and just slows that ball down when you get it in the air just a little bit. That's kind of the key on these turf fields, I think. So another clear by the Warriors. Be another throw in for the Raiders. We're now pushing into the 18-minute mark. Our score remains 0-0. It's been a good match so far. Wausau with the clear. Picked up by Tillman, who's going to deliver it wide to Holter, who settles it nicely. Pushes it in the middle. Gets taken by Wausau. Now they're on the attack. Big long ball out. It's going to be a sprint to get to it, but she does. Decides to send right across, but there is Raina Fort with the clear. I'd like to welcome all of our visitors on the YouTube channel, and if you're watching and want to give a shout out to a certain player or a team that you're supporting, we love you to add it to the chat, and then we'll give a shout out on air here. If you care to share where you're from, we love that as well, because it's always fun to see who the furthest away is. So I think so far this year the furthest was the Salama guys in Las Vegas watching the match. So I don't know if anybody can beat Las Vegas as a distance from Hudson, Wisconsin, but we love it. All right, here comes Langenall down the corner again. Goes for a big cross, but just didn't quite get her hips and leg around on that. It's a big, you're running full tilt like that, trying to get across as you kind of need to position your body just the right way to be able to get that ball crossed. It's not as easy as it looks. So, and sometimes you're trying to keep your speed up while doing that, and it gets a little tricky. So Elabast back in the match here, and Salama back in the match too. Actually, I think Elabast exited the game and Maggie Salama came in. Maggie's now playing the left side striker position. Often she's on the right side. It's a little bit different combo here, but I like it. There's a little ball through there too. I like that too, but good defense by Wausau West. Nice turn by Salama. Gets the ball out wide to Ferrara, but a little too much heat on it. So another goal kick for the Warriors at about the 20-minute mark. So we're halfway through the first half. Our score remains 0-0. For those of you maybe turned in a little late, the Wausau West Warriors are in white on your screen, playing from left to right. Hometown Raiders in blue, playing from right to left. Little give and go. It's going to be a corner kick. Again, working for that corner kick is vital in high-level soccer. You love to get those corner kicks because it's just an easy opportunity to put the ball right into the scoring area. So rather than even sometimes pulling the ball back and trying to make something happen, getting the corner kick opportunity is great. Here we go. It's a nice ball there. There it is. There's a goal for your Raiders. Not sure who that was. 11. Armana Ransanici. Hey, you want to knock on the window there? 11. Ransanici.
Scoring for Hudson. Number 11, Armana Ransanici.
We have an exciting high school student stadium announcing today, so super fun to see a student contributing on that. I often play that role, but I think they've found a new voice for the stadium, so super fun. Armano Ransanici with the goal for the Raiders to start the scoring in this game. So that gives the Raiders a 1-0 lead. And that was an exciting play. Again, you see why you deliver it to that scoring area, and because you don't know what's going to happen. Again, tough to get around on those speedy runs. I'm going to try to watch this goal again because it was a fun one to see. That's off the corner kick by Haley Huntley. Delivers a nice ball in and just headed nicely by Ransanici. That's just a beautiful textbook corner kick goal there. And again, that's why you like the corner kicks. So if you have players like Ransanici who can head that ball really well, you love it. So here we go. The 23-minute mark. Tillman with the pressure and gets the throw in for the Raiders. Raiders with Alyssa Raven, another sophomore into the match. All right, throw in here for Wausau. Throwing back for the Raiders. Farrar with a nice punch out. Ravens on it. It's going to be just too much to get to. So it'll be a throw-in for Wausau, but it'll be about as deep in their territory as they can have. Number of Raiders ready to come back into the match, but they will not have that opportunity until they get a throw-in. So you can only sub so there's only Raiders wanting to come into the game, and in that case the Raiders have to have the throw-in for them to come in. If both teams want players in, then you can sub on any throw-in. So sometimes people don't understand why on throw-ins players just can't come in, and you may not even have seen it on the screen, but there's about 4 Raiders waiting to come in, so they're going to have to wait for either a Raiders throw-in or goal kick or things like that, or until Wausau wants to sub as well. So now Raiders throw in. These 4 ladies will enter the match. Try to see who they have coming in here. Eva Brown, Ramthen back into the match. It's like Lily Rouleau in, and Kelsey Roeder. Kelsey is a freshman, so that's fun to see. Kelsey's had some number of games she's been playing in lately and contributing. Well, no, nice play by the Raiders. Just a foot. Now, see, that's a nice play because that ball, on that type of play, you have a strategy of trying to send it to the far post because that's going to keep the goalkeeper a little bit out of the picture, and then your offensive teammates know to push to that or to push to that far post. It's a pretty common soccer strategy, but it works, and that was nicely done by the Raiders, just a step away from Brown being able to just put that ball into the goal. Tough play there for the Warriors, and the Raiders will get the throw. Here comes Ella Bast on the throw. Rouleau takes a shot from about 30 yards out and gets picked up by Grace Calillo, I believe you say it, and be a punt for the Warriors. Holter over to McConnell, over to Tillman. Just a really solid senior defense for the Raiders. They played together for years, so they really know who's going to do what at any given moment. And Coach Gehring sticks pretty tight with that threesome on defense for the whole game, if possible. And especially in a one-goal game, we're probably not going to see a lot of subs on that defensive end unless the heat gets to them a little bit. There'll be some subbing, but not a lot. Raiders again trying to sneak that ball through, but disrupted by the Warriors, and we got a punt. Kelsey Roeder collecting that punt and getting it over to Rouleau, who brings it back to Tillman, who sends the ball. Nice, not a bad through ball there from distance, but just tough angles to get to sometimes for the girls. Got about 12 and a half minutes left in today's match. We're now over 60 viewers. We appreciate having all of you tuned in for today's match. Raiders again. That's a great ball. And a score for Ransonici again. What a great play by Natalie Ramthen. I think it was 11, wasn't it? Yeah. Rancinici again. Rampton had the assist. 11, yeah.
Scoring for Hudson, her second of the game, Armana Rancinici.
A beautiful, beautiful offensive play by the Raiders. It's just textbook, but it's you can't really defend it unless you're on the ball. So Rampton drives the ball all the way to the goal line and then just chips it back. And again, it's timing because you can see teams do that 10 times a game and not score. But Rancinici was trailing perfectly to gather that ball, and the defense missed Rancinici to cover her, and you have the whole goal in front of you. And I don't think Rancinici, she didn't drill that shot, but she got just enough on it and placed it just right. And when you've got the whole goal in front of you, it's a beautiful feeling when you have an open shot. And Rancinici, as the seasoned senior veteran, I think she's been playing on the varsity since she was a freshman, has just shown you what it's all about there with her second goal of the game. So exciting for the Raiders. We have a number of subs coming in. Lindsay Ferrara and Matea Langenal coming in for the Raiders. And we have Mercy Kelly, number 10, and number 11, Madeline Weller, entering for the Warriors. So Raiders now in that 2-goal lead. That can sometimes get a little comfortable, but it's not one you want to sit on. It's the kind of the worst score you can have, because sometimes your team can sort of start tuning down when you're up by 2. But 1 goal, 1 penalty kick, and suddenly it's a 1-goal game. So you have to keep pushing hard here if you're the Raiders. Wausau has shown us signs of their offense doing some damage, so the Raiders again have to be really careful here and not slow down what's happening on defense or offense. So if the Raiders hang on to win this game, and if Eau Claire Memorial hangs on, or not hangs on, but wins tonight against DC Everest, the Raiders will travel to Eau Claire. I think it's next Tuesday, maybe Thursday, for the regional final, and then that moves in the winner into sectionals. And that would be the third match of the season between Eau Claire Memorial and Hudson. So a lot of business here left, though. There's still 59 minutes left, and great move by Tillman. Oh, that's a nice through ball. Rampton's on it, but so's the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper hit it out, according to the referee, and that's going to be a Raiders corner kick here. As a goalkeeper, it's very difficult to know what to do, so you always play safe. Even if it's going to give another team a corner kick, you make sure that ball gets out, because if she didn't and Rampton got it, she's so far out of the goal that's very dangerous. So a good move by the goalkeeper of Wausau West. Nice corner kick there. Rampton gets a foot on it, sends a kind of a high spinner, and that's nicely collected by Grace Calillo of Wausau West, and she's going to give it a punt. We're now down to 7.5 minutes. Through ball here by Wausau West. That's still alive. It's going to be a foot race. It's number 4, Megan Foster, but good takeaway by Tillman. Maybe a little bump, but a little shoulder to shoulder is legal, just like we saw there. Nothing wrong with it. If you drop the shoulder or throw an elbow or use your arms more, that's a definitely going to be a foul. But shoulder to shoulder is very, very legal. Tangled up there for Ara and the defense, but a good play. No call by the ref. I like it. Collisions happen. The kids get tangled, and it's not always a foul. It's just what soccer is all about. Tillman gets it out to McConnell. We're now pushing into the last 6 minutes of the first half. Raiders of Hudson up 2-0 over the visiting De Pere Warriors. Through ball here. We're going to have some subs. Nope. Got some subs coming in. Here we go again. That is Kelsey Roeder on it. Wausau West again trying to set up some offense here. Nice cutback move there by Megan Foster. Gets it into Ava Lohr. Sends it out wide. I think that's Olivia Meyer out there for the Warriors. Getting pressured. Brings it back, sends it in. Nice movement overall, but a little offsides there on Wausau West. A lot of ball movement there, and sometimes it's easy as a teammate to watch what's happening with the ball, and you suddenly don't realize the defense has moved, and suddenly you're offside. So sometimes defenses do that purposely, sometimes it just happens, but it's easy for that to happen when you're on offense. Again, a little shoulder to shoulder there. No call by the ref. I like it. Ball hit the ref. Very common for a stoppage there and a free drop. Kind of an earlier shoulder-to-shoulder hit that I think Wausau West took a bit of exception to, and it's kind of fired them up. They're playing more physical. They're going after the ball a little bit harder. So here they go. They've got an opportunity here. McConnell gets in front of that shot, though, so nicely done, Maggie McConnell. And ball is saved nicely by number 2. Emily Calio, but that ball drifts on the through pass out. So I'm guessing Emily on number 2 on the defense and Grace, the goalkeeper for Wausau West, are sisters or cousins, same last name, which either way is certainly fun to be playing with a family member when you can. It doesn't happen a whole lot. Down to about 2.5 minutes here in the first half. As you can see on the scoreboard, the Raiders continue to lead 2-0 on the 2 Armana Ransonici goals in the first half. Wausau's finding a gap through the midfield, but once they get into within the 30-yard line, the Raiders' defense is clamping down and making it challenging for them offensively. Chloe Gregerson there with some nice play to keep that ball alive. Gets it up to Ramthen. Tries to head over. Cleo on it for Wausau. And she sends it out. That's going to be calling a throw-in for the Raiders. That'll be about as deep offensively as a throw-in can be. About a minute and a half left in the first half. Knocked the flag over even. That hit that square. It takes a lot to knock that over. So here we go. Oh, Raiders get the corner kick actually. Nope, calling a throw-in. That's what I thought. I think Raiders thought maybe a corner kick, but comes the throw. We're down to about a minute and a half. Ooh, almost an inadvertent handball there. In comes Sophie Bass for a little offensive push here in the last minute. Raiders would love to get one more score, and Wausau's going to definitely do everything they can to stop that. Don't want to give up anything in the final minute.
1 minute remaining in play. 1 minute.
Oof. Big shoulder-to-shoulder hit there. No call. As long as it's consistent, that's always important, and so far that has been the case with the referees. They're letting these girls be a little physical. Haven't seen anything overtly bad though, so I'm liking how this is going. Little head over by Ramthen. Now down to about 25 seconds. This will be the end of the first half here. We'd like to thank again everyone for tuning into the first half. We'll take a 10-minute break for the halftime, and we certainly hope you all come back and watch the second half with us. Raiders continue to lead 2-0.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, folks, here we are back for the second half of the regional matchup between the hometown Hudson Raiders, the number 2 seed in the region, giving them the ability to host this game, taking on the number 3 seeded Wausau West Warriors from Wausau West High School. Warriors are entering the second half here, down 2 goals. And but we started to see some extra life out of them at the end of the first half, playing a bit more aggressively, a little more physical, and I think it's going to make for an interesting second half because the season is on the line for both teams. So here we go. Raiders get the kick this half. I'm going to bring it back to Rouleau and back to McConnell. Sends it out wide to Salama. And Holter's on it now. He's going to play it all the way back to Tillman. Pressured by the Warriors. That's what you got to do when you're down 2 goals. You can't just let the Raiders kind of pass that ball around and kill the clock and things like that. You got to be pressuring everything now and even potentially taking a few chances. 40 minutes is a long time, but you know, 2 goals against a solid senior defensive line of the Raiders, solid senior goalkeeper Hannah Kendhammer. They're gonna have to take some chances here. Push more players up. Maybe expose their defense a bit, but they got to be challenging every ball. Again, seeing some physicality here. But all shoulder to shoulder, which is legit and fair. Raiders just have to keep their cool with all the shoulder checking going on. They don't want to draw fouls or cards or things like that with a 2-goal lead. Just have to be solid. It's easy to get a little frustrated with some of that, even when it's legal. So it's just you have to keep your cool and on both teams. Wausau certainly doesn't want to be getting unnecessary fouls and things like that either. So got to play aggressive but smart. Here we go. Raiders with the throw-in. About 2 minutes into the second half. Raiders up 2-0. Salama with the throw. Head over by Rancinici. Rancinici looking for the hat trick with the 2 first half goals. Pretty spectacular goals, too, I got to say. Rancinici with a beautiful header off of a corner kick. Got a foot race here. McConnell's on it. Little shot over, sends it wide. And Kendhammer was there as well, but shot goes wide for the Warriors, and the Raiders will get a goal kick here. Checked in with Hudson Athletic Director Aaron Moan and found out that if Eau Claire wins tonight and if the Raiders hang on, the game will be in Eau Claire. If Eau Claire happens to lose tonight and the Raiders win, the Raiders would host the final of the region here. Wausau West as well. If they end up winning this game and Eau Claire wins, then Wausau West would travel to Eau Claire, and that game looks like it'll be on Thursday of next week. So winner of this game will likely go to Eau Claire, but if DC Everest happens to get the victory, then the winner of this game will host. Then in the sections, games are pretty typically held at neutral sites. So we'll see what happens. First case of order for our Raiders is to hold off and pull this victory out, but Wausau West is playing tough. But a little cool breeze rolling in, which will be, I think, welcomed by the players on the field and the parents in the stands. It was kind of a hot, muggy first half. Not much breeze, but the breeze is now kicking in because I think we'll see some rain and other weather kicking in here a little bit later this afternoon. Farrar is on it, gets it out to Salama, sends the ball across. That's not a bad play. Raiders are there. Rancinici getting shielded, but gathers it in, sets up a shot, plays it off Wausau, and that should be a corner kick for the Raiders. I've already scored twice off corner kicks. One was a header by Rancinici, and the other was a nice ball that kind of, or actually it was not a corner kick. Second goal was Natalie Ramthen driving it to the end line, passing it back. So, but one goal off corner kicks gives you a lot of confidence. McConnell lining up to take this kick. It's a nice ball. It's right where you want it. Salama was there, but it came in a little tough. Hard to get your feet on it right when you're moving. And that's a ball in by Holter. That's going to be dangerous, too. Rancinici on it. Goalkeeper's way out. Lots of defense there for Wausau, though. Salama with some good defense there, but I guess they're calling a little bit of a push from behind. And that'll be a free kick for the Warriors. Rouleau trying to head it out. Warriors stay on it. Raiders just need to keep this ball moving, push it up the field. Don't really want to just get into just kicking it down the field. The Raiders want to. They have their solid passing team, and that takes a lot of time off the clock when you can pass the ball around. And move the ball up a little more slowly. It's all about the clock when you get a 2-goal lead in the second half of a playoff match like this. So Holter on it. Nice communication by her and Salama there. Rancinici with the ball on the sideline. Nice takeaway there by number 6, Lily Bizjak of the Warriors, but the Raiders still end up with it. Nicely played by Ramthen out wide to Ava Brown. Just not able to get around on that ball. Goes for the left-footed cross and just came off the foot wrong and Warriors will have a goal kick here. About 33 minutes left in this match. So lots of time for lots to happen. Great step up by McConnell. Ransonici on it. Plays it up, takes a shot from distance. And that's easily collected by Grace Callio. And punted out. Raina Ford, nice step up on that punt to get the ball into Raiders' feet. And cleared out by the Warriors. Raiders defense is held strong. Warriors in 48 minutes, no shots. So the Raiders defense definitely doing their job despite a few close calls by the Warriors, but no solid plays on goal yet. And that's obviously a clear indicator of a 2-0 lead for the Raiders. Holman gets a thigh on it. Taken in. Through ball through, but tough, little firm, little hard to play for number 5, Ava Orr. And the Raiders get it back. Farrar gets tangled, but still advances the ball. Which again, everything is about ticks of the clock here in the second half. And that little extra play, you know, took a few seconds off the clock by just extending that ball down the field versus Lindsay could have easily just kind of let that be where it was, and Wausau would have picked it up and advanced the ball. But it's little things like that you do in soccer to work the clock. Tillman on it, getting pressured in a hard kind of hit. I think sometimes the parents are more stressed out than the players are. I can remember those days having I played soccer for probably about 20 years and coached it for 30-some years. And a lot of those 30 years of coaching, I coached my son's traveling teams. Oh, that ball's nice, right to Ramthan's feet. Gets a quick play in and knocked out of bounds. It's going to be a Raiders corner kick. So really you go for that pass. 99% of the time you're not going to get it, but that one just fell right on Ramthan's feet perfectly. And she turns it into a corner kick. So but I can say, getting back to being a parent, that there is nothing more stressful than watching your kids play. My kids never seemed as stressed out as I was in most cases. It's a nice ball by McConnell. Gets it in! Oh! Not sure if that was Ransonici again on the header, but I'm going to watch the replay here. It's a nice ball in. It's a little difficult to head. Yeah, that was Ransonici again. Ball hawk in there, looking for that hat trick. But her first header in, she was able to step into and meet the ball, which allows you to really drive it with power, versus if you're just standing waiting for it, you're deflecting the ball. And it's harder to get a lot on that ball. So kind of saw if you remember her first goal with the header, very different play and situation there. All right, we're moving into the 52-minute mark. Hudson Raiders in blue continue to lead 2-0 over the visiting Wausau West Warriors. Nice through ball by the Warriors, but a little too far. McConnell's on it. Does a quick turn. Really nice play by McConnell. And she's going to drive a long ball up. Tries to get it to Ramthen. Little collision. No foul, though. Ramthen's on it. Tries to thread the needle. Fort tries to step up on that. Now Wausau's got numbers, but man, Nevaeh Tillman with a great step out takeaway. Tillman's just a solid player. She'll be continuing her soccer career at UW Eau Claire in the fall, playing soccer at the university. Some subs coming in, at least one sub for the Raiders. Looks like Lily Rouleau going to catch a breather, and number 8, Haley Huntley, entering the game for the Raiders. Maggie Salama lining up the throw-in for the Raiders. Nice head over by Ramthen. She's back on it. She's resetting, sends a little chip across. That's a tough spot to kind of chip and cross, but good attempt. Oh, great play by Raina Fort there to keep that ball alive. Big collision there. It's easy to think it's one-sided, but there's some heavy hits coming from Wausau West too. Referee viewed that as a Raider foul, though, and that'll be a free kick here. That's where I'm saying these teams need to be a little careful, because this ref will be watching those plays closely. Raina Fort with another nice open field takeaway. Gets it up to Ransonici. Fights off the pressure from behind. West's defense stepping up, though. We get the through ball through, but comes off the feet of number 10, Mercy Kelly, a little awkwardly, and the Raiders able to take it away. Definitely an intense step up in intensity from the Warriors. They're not advancing the ball real far offensively, but they're definitely slowing the Raider attack. That in the first half, I think they had 6 or 7 shots on goal and 2 scores, and it's been pretty quiet on the Raiders' attack. They've holding possession longer, but not getting the opportunities. Now here comes Matea Langenal. Resets, gets around, gets the ball into Ramthen. Tries to do a turn in the box, which is always tough. There's usually a lot of defense. I mean, there's 6, 7, 8 defenders for Wausau back there. Got some subs in. Lindsay Ferrara coming in, giving Ramthen a break. Langenal getting ready for the throw. Gets it into Huntley. Puts a nice cross in there. That's nice. Well played by Wausau West, though, and they get the clear, but Holter's going to step up for that. Gets a nice little ball into Fort. Plays a tough ball up the middle. Bounces out to Ferrara, who takes a shot. It was kind of a standing shot, so again, kind of like the standing header we talked about. It's tough to get a real solid shot when it's sort of a standing opportunity. You'd rather be able to meet that ball a little bit. Holter with a nice take there, played it up the middle of the field, but gets away from her out of bounds. Moving into the 56 minutes here, and the Raiders continue to lead 2-0 over the Wausau West Warriors. It's been a really fun game to watch. Lots of great passing sequences, some good scoring by the Raiders. A lot of solid defense on both sides of the ball, but the Raiders able to get a couple goals in on high percentage opportunities, and Wausau West just not really able to get that ball where they want it offensively yet. But still a lot of time. There's 23 minutes left, and a lot can happen, and just gets away from Chloe Nell of the Raiders. Chloe, another sophomore in the game for the Raiders. Great hustle by Holter. She got kind of a little bit of a, again, not a foul, but a little physical play. Knocked Britta off the ball, but then she came back strategically and played the angle well and took that ball back. All right. Wausau sends it deep. Kendhammer lets it go. We'll take the goal kick. Definitely a nice breeze coming in at the back of Wausau West, so a little bit of maybe a wind advantage for them to make something happen here. Also is going to Fallen Rancinici. A little bit of a you can't push from behind. We've seen a little bit of that both ways, but if the ref sees it, obviously he's going to call it. Shoulder to shoulder, totally legal. Even if you get knocked over, if it's shoulder to shoulder, there shouldn't be a foul call really, unless you're purposely trying to like check in hockey. But don't see that very often. Kendhammer on it. So we'll take a second, purview the field, figure out where she wants to go. Big ball up by Kendhammer.
Just adjusting at this very moment. All right.
Bast on it, nicely played. Gets it to Rancinici, who tries to thread the needle to Ferrara. Raiders need to push that ball out, I think, rather than trying to get it up the middle as much as they do. But sometimes it works. As soon as I say don't do it, they do it and it works. So McConnell on it. Sends the ball up the line. So ball's not technically out of bounds till it completely crosses the line. That's again, sometimes parents think as soon as it hits the line, it's out, as it is in many sports. But in soccer, the ball technically does have to cross the line for it to be considered out. And even on windy days with spinning balls, if you kick that ball in the air and it goes out and spins back in somehow, especially in a long ball, it is technically out of bounds. So you don't see that too often, but it does happen. Big bounce over Holter's head, but the Raiders decide to clear it out. Fort, something happening. She got her foot stepped on. I think she's all right now, though. Looks like we're getting sprinkled on, folks. So that's going to make things interesting here in the second half. That may help Wausau a bit. Slippery balls can make some interesting things happen. Of course, that can go either way. Got a bunch of subs coming in with the rain. Number 20, Maddie Cruz, or number 20, Olivia Caldwell for Wausau. I'm trying to pick up the Raiders. It looks like Lily Rouleau in. Number 5, Chloe Gregerson. Number 12, Kelsey Roeder in for the Raiders. Probably missed one sub. Let's see. Probably number 16, Chloe Nell, back in the game for the Raiders. So a young lineup in for the Raiders. A few seniors and longtime junior players in, and getting some good playing time here in an important match and an important time of the match, and giving some of the usual starters a little bit of a breather. So always important. It's a nice ball through over by Wausau West, but a little heavy. Gets over everybody and goes out of bounds. We are now under 20 minutes left in the match. Raiders continuing to hang on to their 2-0 lead on the two first half goals by Armana Rancinici, the senior leading scorer for the Raiders now with those 2 goals. I believe that puts her at 14 goals. Her teammate Natalie Ramthen has 13. So some good play there. Holter on it. Played back, but McConnell comes in and just gets off her feet wrong, and that's going to give a corner kick to Wausau West. Not sure they've had a corner kick in this match, but we'll see. And this is going to give them a good opportunity to put the ball right into that scoring area. Raiders defense going to pack it in. You can see the Raiders have 10 of their 11 players back playing defense. Looks like Wausau's got a low ball in. McConnell nicely played. She's going to carry it. Nobody around, so she should carry it. Sends it up to Ferrara. Taken by Stella Olson of the Warriors. Again, they're going to try to step in, but there's Lily Rouleau in the passing lane. So one thing we're seeing some nice play from the Raiders on is kind of stepping into those angles defensively, those passing angles, and just kind of picking off some balls very easily in those situations. Ball screaming down the sideline. This might be Wausau's best opportunity, but there's Hannah Kendhammer. She's got sure hands and grabs that ball purely out of the air, gets it to Rouleau. Sends it up the middle to Bast. A couple players will be back next year as well. Really, look at this great passing by the Raiders. They get it all the way down. That's Chloe Nell in the corner. Really nice give and go by Nell. Tries to send across through, but plays off. Will be a Raiders throw. That was a really nice passing sequence there for the Raiders. In for the Raiders now, we have Maggie Salama coming in. We have Ava Brown coming in and Nevaeh Tillman back in the match. So those starters getting some great rest there with some solid play from the rest of the Raiders squad. And great experience getting into this kind of a match for a lot of these players. Who will serve the Raiders well in the future. Again, Raiders going to let that spin out because that's going to be a corner kick. And Salama, I think, she got her foot stepped on as well. It happens. It's not a good feeling. It's worse when it's ice cold out and you get stepped on, but looks like Salama's going to take this corner kick. That's a nice ball. It's out far and wide, and Rouleau with a really power header, but just sends it wide. So nice play by Lily Rouleau, and be a corner or goal kick here now for Wausau West. This game is brought to you by the River Channel, and I'm joined by my colleague Nikos, and I'm Jeff, and we are happy to bring this game to all of you via the River Channel, which broadcasts a lot of Hudson sports and other activities for the schools and the city in general. So good to have you. And again, if you want to drop a comment in the chat, if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to see who you are and where you're from and who you're rooting for. Again, a little ball in by the Raiders and nicely deflected by the goalkeeper. Ramthen stays on it. There was a collision, but again, those collisions happen, and they're not always fouls. So we've seen kind of that gone both ways here. Oh, Raiders again with a sneak through, and the Wausau goes for clear, and just that clear was only about 1.5 yards from the post. So, whew. I think everybody thought that that ball was just going to get out of bounds, but Ava Brown stayed on it. I love it, and gets a nice little short chip in. But here we go. Brown with that's a nice corner kick by Ava Brown. Comes out a little bit far, but that's a nice ball. Salama's on it. She cues up. Deflected by the Warriors. They try for the clear. They get it out of bounds. It'll be a quick throw in for Salama. Bass sends it back. Nice little pass. And that ball was just off Salama's foot wrong and went out of bounds. All right, we're down to 14 minutes about in this match. Clock keeps ticking in soccer. Only goals and injuries and a few other reasons does the game stop, and there's no extra time like maybe you've seen if you watch World Cup soccer, British Premier League, any of those, MLS. In those games, the clock keeps ticking, but the referee can add time based on fouls, based on other things, injuries, things like that. They can add time on, but that does not happen in Wisconsin high school soccer. So we will end at the 80-minute mark unless it's tied. If it's tied in the playoffs, then you play two 10-minute halves, two little 10-minute periods. So they play 10 minutes, 2-minute break, and then play another 10 minutes. If it's still tied, so it's not sudden death in that overtime, those overtime periods, but at the end of the two periods, if a team is leading, they win. If it's still tied, then you go to the dreaded shots from the mark, the penalty kicks, the shootout, and probably will happen somewhere in the state during these regionals. So Raiders with some subs going on here. You'll see probably some subbing happening here. It's a legal tactic to work in the clock a little bit. If the referee feels like it's a bit excessive, they can always kind of slow that down or stop the clock or things like that. You don't have to allow subs every time either. The referee controls whether the subs come in or not. But for the most part, teams are usually quite sportsmanlike on that, and we'll see how this ends up here. We're now down to about 12 minutes in the match. Raiders continue to hold that 2-0 lead. Comes Rouleau up the middle, uncontested. Decides to slow it down, pulls it back. Went for a big ball up the middle there from distance. Sends another ball in from distance and goes wide of the goal. It'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. Division II play, for those of you familiar with Hudson, our friends from River Falls and New Richmond, they both won their first matches and are going to be playing again today. Probably looks like a little later games, and we wish our Big Rivers Conference friends well in Division II play, smaller school division for girls soccer. It's getting to the point for Wausau West. They've got to maybe take some chances. They've got to start booting that ball down the field a little bit more. You want to control it and pass it up, but you also have to look at the clock, recognize the Raiders' defense, and you gotta really be pushing up. And you may give up a goal in that process, but you kind of have to do things a little differently when you want to try to get 2 goals in the last 10 minutes against a solid defense and team like the Raiders. Wausau is keeping 1 defender back, actually kind of keeping 3 back. Get another throw. Just had a brief little sprinkle there, and that looks like it's ended, so probably not a lot of water on the field for the girls to contend with. Maybe just cooled them down a bit, which might be nice. Still a little warm and a little humid. More rain to come, I think. Tillman trying to thread the needle there after a nice takeaway. Tillman playing some good defense, just kind of letting it go, waiting for the right moment. The best defensive players know that you don't just try to take the ball immediately every time. Sometimes you got to let your opponent kind of take the ball, and you wait for them to make a mistake, especially if you feel like you got it covered a little bit. You just wait for the ball to spin off a little bit or just give you a good chance to take that ball, and Tillman's a master at it. All right, Wausau again fighting for the ball. They are playing aggressively, trying to keep that ball, just having trouble really putting it all together in the offensive end today. Sub coming in for Wausau West. 9 minutes left in the match. It's always a hard time. You hate to see these kids, some of the seniors, this may be the last soccer match they're playing. And but Wausau West has played admirably today for sure, and still have time to make things interesting here. It's a nice ball in. McConnell just solid in there, gets the header out. Close to offsides there, but yeah, now it's called. Yeah. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delayed reaction on the offsides to see what happens, because in soccer there's the advantage rule, and referees have the authority to not call a penalty if the team that benefits from that has clear control of the ball and an advantage to keeping the ball. So sometimes you wait for just a little bit of a pause on actually calling the penalty. Wausau again getting the ball down, just struggling to get that last pass or two. Players hooked up there, very, very aggressive play on both ends. Looks like Holter kind of locked arms a little bit and drew the foul. Wausau, this is going to be a solid opportunity for them. This ball has to get placed well, and they need to get in there and maybe keep a couple people long, like around the 10-yard line there for a straggling ball. Ball comes in, but it's going to get all the way to Kendhammer, who mishandles it, but then gets on it. Well played by Kendhammer. Ball's a little low.
Right back at it, White. Momentum.
I think if Wausau West could do that again, they'd probably want to get it a little higher in the air.
Let's go, White. Right back at it. Got a battle, White.
Thanks for the information there, Mr. Conley. We appreciate that. I don't have control of the clock, but I do believe they've all been checked in by the referees on those protocols, so appreciate that, though. Here we go, throw in here. Been a physical game, but a fairly clean physical game, if that makes sense. It's always hard, though. You always feel like, I think both teams probably feel like they've gotten the short hand of the stick a little bit on some of these bumping calls and shoulder-to-shoulder plays, but I think the ref has been quite consistent on that today. Here we go, Wausau West again trying to get something going. You're in the middle of the field. Get the ball out wide, and just a tough bounce off of the striker over there. Kind of hits her in the back, and I think she was hoping that ball was going to go solidly through. Raiders send a big ball up. Gets out of bounds. Will be a quick throw-in for Wausau. Another throw in for Wausau. McConnell on the 1-to-1 out wide. Little pullback, nice little poke out by McConnell, even though it's going to give a throw in. That slows down that attack and allows the Raiders defense to reset, which is important. So big throw in here. We're down to about just getting close to 4 minutes left in the match. Little chip in. Again, McConnell heads it, and that's going to give a corner kick. Good opportunity here for Wausau West. They need to get that ball, lofted. They need to get it in the scoring area, and they need people attacking. And I always say you got to keep somebody out a little bit long, because the bouncer always comes out. That ball is played kind of angled outward, and Raiders get a clear. Wausau again gets it out. They're going to try to get another cross in here, and they get the throw in. We're down to about 3.5 minutes left in the match. We're going to stop the clock, and both teams are subbing, but since the Raiders are subbing and it's just within 5 minutes, the clock does stop until the referee directs the clock to start again. And we'll start it up, and here we go. Here we go. Knocked out. It'll be a goal kick for the Raiders. Now down to 3.5 minutes. Again, everyone who's tuned in, we're pushing close to 70 now. We certainly appreciate all of you tuning into today's match. And those of you that have been Hudson fans that have tuned in all season, we certainly appreciate you. You've heard a lot of nice things from your family members here. We appreciate that and the fact that we can bring this game to you to see your grandkids or other relatives, no matter where you live. And it's possible there could be one more broadcast game, depending what happens in the Eau Claire game. Looks like the Raiders will probably pull this out now, I think, with 3 minutes left. But Wausau's really applying a lot of pressure, just not getting the opportunities. But if the Raiders do pull the game out, we will look at a game in Eau Claire, most likely. But you never know. DC Everest can be tough. And if Eau Claire does not prevail tonight, we'll have one more match here on the River Channel at least. So, but if not, again, we've appreciated those of you that have been with us all season, and I'll be back in the fall, probably with my friend Nikos for boys soccer in the fall here for Hudson, and then girls soccer again next year. But again, we appreciate all of you, and nice ball out. Salama on it, sends it in. Oh, that's a tough angle to shoot from, but Maggie came darn close to putting it in the corner. It's a tough angle for a shot. We're now down to less than 2 minutes. Wausau West has played a valiant game. They've had a great season, so we certainly want to congratulate them for a great season. They tied these Raiders earlier this season. Other than the 2 Rancinici goals in the first half, this has been a really tight, well-played defensive matchup. So Wausau West certainly has a lot to be proud of. It looks like they were conference champions and have done well in the region here. So we wish their seniors the best as they move on, and I'll say the same to the Raiders seniors, because I may not get to broadcast another game. We wish our Raider seniors nothing but the best after graduation here as well. Now down to 1 minute. Looks like Raiders will hold on to this victory. And again, thanks for coming to the River Channel to watch what's going on. And we appreciate all of you, whether you're visiting fans or Raider fans. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks, Wicker Woman, for checking in. Always good to have you. Another nice game by Lily, and we'll look for the best out of this team to take one to Eau Claire on Monday. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great weekend.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.